We're
We're up. We're running. I'm still dying on the fact that it didn't show up on my regular one.
I'm still not seeing it, but that could also just be a me issue.
And we're
We
live.
got it. There we are. So sweet.
We're
Oh, here we are. Perfect.
We're up. Perfect.
Up
We're
and running.
All right. I'm gonna mute us. I'm gonna post right now in Twitter, and then we'll get some hubbub. Yeah, there we are. We'll get some hubbub going on.
My mic is too loud.
Yeah, I heard you through the feedback.
Oh, I heard you too. Can you lower your mic?
I have a gain of 0.
Okay, can you still not lower it anymore? Because you both are on the same. You both are on the same mic. All right, let's see if I do that. Go for it again. Give me some audio.
Hello, hello.
Much better.
Hello, hello.
Give me a little more audio, Brown.
Hello, hello, hello.
Is that better? Does you sound quieter?
I'm gonna be a couple minutes late on that. All right, now I'm good. All right. You're not sharing the YouTube live control panel, are you?
No.
Why can't I see it?
What do you mean? You mean my It says you.
Yeah, over there on the right.
Yeah. You can see it because you can see the whole OBS. That's
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, we're gonna get started here in just a couple minutes. You guys feeling good? We're back. We're up. We're ready. There's a post on X. Go ahead and share it as well if you can.
Smash that like and retweet button.
Smash that like and retweet this. Influences upon you. Beep bop beep.
Unfortunately, I do not have my phone on me to retweet
The
it,
worst.
and I'm not logged in on my computer.
The worst.
Got you.
Yeah, and I have 2-factor authentication on my computer, so I can't even authenticate without my phone.
No worries. Still the worst, but no worries.
All right, I got you taken care of.
Boom. Thank you, gents. All right, we're rolling. We've got a couple people on and watching. Don't forget to hit those likes. Do.
Hold on. Where's the chat? Oh, let's go.
All right. So, gents. Oh, you are the first. Look at that. Brown's the first.
Let's
First
go.
in all of our hearts, too.
Not in the first in the Devon Corps leaderboard, as you, sir, are holding that title very strong right now. Very, very happy to see that, and you're doing so well. It's like you flipped a switch and have just, middle of season 1 on, have just decided that, no, I am the king of Devon.
I don't know. Very strong might be a bit generous. There were, this last month was not the most kind to me, but I can get into that.
Yeah,
in a little bit.
We'll get it. Yeah, absolutely. Give it a couple more minutes, and we'll intro and get into the background of it. But we're halfway through the season. We've got an EUIS coming up. This is awesome.
What's the S stand for?
Showdown.
Yeah.
European International Showdown.
I think. Show something. Shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow.
I was
like
thinking
a fun metaphor.
The first thing that came to my mind was show 6. And I was just like, I don't think that's what it is.
European Union International Show 6?
I mean, that is part of it.
It could be part of it. It does work, but no, it's for Showdown. I think you're right there for Showdown.
Show 8 Bantu when?
God, bring it back. Bring the format back.
Actually, Sosa, I got one for you.
Okay.
You know, you could call your tournament the Swiss tournament. You know why?
Oh, why?
Southwestern Invitational Show 6.
Southwestern Invitational Show 6. Dang.
Oh, that was advanced.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. That's a good one. Didn't even think of it. Yeah, no, we can
I'm
definitely
sweating now. That
come to
was
the
good.
come to the Swiss tournaments. We'll have the whole trophy will just be a thing of Swiss cheese on top of a plaque with a basket of Swiss cheese for people.
It would be really funny if the Swiss tournament ended up being a round robin style one.
Ugh.
I miss the days of round robin tournaments.
All I do is round robin because there's only 3 or 4 people that come to my meta, and I need to have at least 3 rounds in order for it to be a proper ranked meta. So my locals are only round robins right now. But if you want to join, come on through. Come on through, Brown.
Yeah,
We'd love to have you.
Let me just pull up to Arizona real quick.
No, not you.
Oh.
Not you, number one. I gotta give my boys and my battlers some kind of ground to feel good on.
What if you hosted it like in a city like Phoenix or Las Vegas?
Phoenix would be fun. You'd have Flying Pizza and J-Jan, who we just saw did really well. And if we did that, we could probably sweet talk maybe some other SoCal Swablues. But that's still about a good 2-hour drive, and you'd have to find a location. That's a lot of money. A lot of resources to get that done. And I don't live in Phoenix, so we'd have to call up our boy Creaser or Munchlax, our DV Sheriff, to see if they want to host that, because that's a lot to do out there in Phoenix. But it'd be the perfect time, too, because it's not sweat your balls off. Are you gents ready to get into this?
Oh,
yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, then, welcome everyone to Poke Battle Network on YouTube today. We are having an amazing Pokemon Go Battlefield Day of Devon Corps with a video published earlier today with Leo as we followed Rhyblet, the world champion and ranked number 1 with his Pillar Cup run here of the Palatown Mega Tournament. Brownballer and I now have Rhyblet himself here to help break down and talk about our new February meta, the Ingot Cup. So, gentlemen, welcome back to the Spotlight Metas.
Hello. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Great to be here with Sosa, and love to finally be able to do this with Rhyblet. Been asking for Rhyblet for a while. Finally, we get the chance with the Ingot Cup.
Right,
They finally wore me down.
I think this is a good one. I really don't think we would have done well with you with the Chaos Cup. I think the Crypt Cup was real already, self-explanatory. In Pillar Cup, you really could play your own style. But this cup, this is more like an old school meta cup. So I'm really glad to have you. I've got my pen, I've got my notes, ready to find out what Pokemon you're going to suggest and how we're going to go about it, because you obviously have a scope of the season of Devon right now. We are halfway through the second season of this wonderful grassroots organization that we have. And Rhyblet, you're still hanging on tight to that number 1. How you been holding up in the regular meta with all of these metas we just talked about?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I've been chilling at number 1 on the leaderboard for the last couple months now. And we'll have to see if that's still true after the boards get updated for Pillar Cup.
Oh.
Because, not gonna lie, Pillar Cup didn't go as smoothly as Crypt or Chaos did for me. In the 15 rounds that I did, I went 12-3, which, by any metric, that's still like a fantastic performance. But it's on par with the couple of people below me. You know, I've been in their DMs, chatting them up, seeing how they're doing, and it's definitely not the comfortable margin of difference between, me and the next couple people that I had in previous months. So I would not be surprised if, there were a couple people who show up knocking at my door.
You think huh?
Not to give any spoilers, but I could see a world in which Jacko Loco ends up at number 1 at the end of this month, but we'll see.
I mean,
we will see.
The meta was
I've done what I can.
The meta was 2 months. It was such a long meta that people were able to adjust and adapt. If you got a good team at the beginning and felt good about it, people were able to adjust later on in the metas and understand maybe bringing the area Aurorus number 2 isn't the way to go about it. Or maybe that their water Pokemon wasn't the right decision, or their grass Pokemon or ice Pokemon wasn't the best. So I feel like I understand what you're saying when you took some hits, but I think a lot of people had that issue too, where at the end we were surprised with a lot more wilder spices coming through. Like for instance, in that video, we had a Starmie and a Leafani in the grand finals of that tournament. That blew my mind how in a Feraligatr Malamar meta, Starmie's just there.
I will also say Shadow Scissor was not the way, especially not with Fury Cutter. I landed that thing on exactly 0 Malamars.
Oh,
It was not a good time. Would not
So
recommend.
did you have success with Starmie?
Oh, I wasn't running Starmie. It was
Jello
the opponent that I
Jonas
had in the last
had
round.
a Starmie.
okay.
Yeah.
And they had tons of energy on it. I don't know what their play was, but it didn't end up working for them, as the Feraligatr just ended up coming in huge. I didn't bring in the Feraligatr. I had the Empoleon in my Pillar Cup, and I had the Crawdilly, but I went with your Ariados, and I was like, yo, Ariados is fire. And
How did it
Ariados
work
did
out for you?
great. Ariados was great for me. I did come across a lot of Auroras who came up and just fed my Empoleon. I was like, thank you, Steel Wing, Steel Wing, Steel Wing, Steel Wing, Steel Wing down. Jump Pluff did pop up, but Empoleon's there, could take out the Jump Pluff with one extra tap, which I got. So having it as a safe swap was like huge for me. So I really liked having Empoleon, but it was really Crawdilly and Ariados. Ariados had a moveset that just, you could cover everything. You were putting pressure down on anything and everything, and I think that was the big key there for that Pokemon.
Right, and even things you don't beat like Miltank, you can still just, debuff them into oblivion so that, you lose the matchup, but they're at a quarter health and they're at -2 attack, and then, you just take it to Farm Town.
What's that double debuff body slam gonna do now? Nothing. You're gonna
2%.
have to go for the heavier charge move, which is still not gonna do much. It was a great call there that you picked up real early. So I'm really excited to have you here. We've got a new meta. Brown, is there anything you want to talk about the Pillar Cup? I know you were excited about it. You had a couple of practice tournaments in there where there are Pokemon that you thought were like real hype, but then fell off.
What was it? I can't remember early on. I remember I was talking to Zion. I was like, Zion, pick me some spice. And he's like, run Starmie. It's new. I'm like, sure. And I tried to run it. I was like, I did not enjoy running Starmie. I found it really hard to run early on. Doesn't mean, again, I think, Malamar metas, they don't benefit Starmie. So, I mean, the same with Feraligatr. That's the issue I ran into. And then also, it's like, it just wasn't hitting anything. It was just too slow.
Yeah.
Like, the Pokemons that are getting there, at that 40 energy Hydro Cannon, like Feraligatr, I found were good in that kind of pacing range. Like, that 45 energy Shadow Claw Sableye pacing range, it just wasn't really feeling it.
No,
which I think maybe more so for some other metas, just not this one.
Were you running Thunder or Power Gem on yours?
Ooh.
Wait, Starmie learns Thunder?
Oh, Starmie has Thunder.
All right, Power Gem
Ice
it is.
Beam,
Great work,
Power
everyone.
Gem. Hydro Pump. Like, the hardest part about Starmie is either it's not tanky enough to get to those nuke moves, which when you looked at the first meta, when you looked at those 79 Pokemon, you're like, well, Clodsire, Azumarill, Stunfisk, all these tanky Pokemon were there. So it was really, you had to find somebody with some good fast attack. And after they nerfed the Surf, Starmie didn't feel like it was the actual play. Like, they need to give it a better faster charge move to get to, because everything's like 50 plus. And like you said, Brown, there were so many heavy attack weighted things throwing at 40 to 45 that were coming for your shields and just taking them out, and you can't afford that, especially in that meta.
But if you can get Starmie a shield or energy advantage, maybe like give it a farm down on something. It was scary stuff.
Yeah, because you got that extra energy there. It was so good. But that's going to be, like, we're getting ready for the February meta, which is actually going to be the meta for the EUIS, which I'm really excited about. We're going to see another international showdown here from the Devon Corps. They've already got their casters set. It is slated for February 8th. That's why I wanted to get this video out immediately so that battlers in the EU could understand, find out what they need to bring, because this showdown is going to be fire. Winner of this gets a punch-in ticket to Worlds right off the bat, and there are so many other good things that come from it as well, on top of the world recognition through the Devon Corps scene. What is it? The community. There it is. Through the Devon Corps community. So I'm really excited. Let's get into and look at this new meta for February.
Before we do so,
Yeah.
could you go back 1 second to the that roadmap?
Uh-huh.
I guess where on the roadmap is EUIC? It's a little hard to see on my screen.
It's right here in February. It's you see EMEA.
Yes.
So it's February, you'll have the EUIS, then we'll have March with nothing, and then in April we'll have the APAC. They will have theirs, and then in June, right before the World Championship, so the last meta of the season, you will have the North American IS, the NAIS. Rhyblet, I'm sure we'll see you in there. Hopefully you will take it. But if you're already number 1 on the leaderboard, are you gonna put yourself out there like that?
I'm planning to, yeah.
All right, a true battler.
So I didn't realize when the first showdown happened that it contributed to ranking separately from the 15 a month that you normally get before, it's the diminishing returns. So
it's extra credit, basically?
It's basically extra credit, yeah, if you do well.
Well,
yeah, so I'm planning on going to the remaining 3 showdowns if I can, get myself out of bed at 9 a.m. local time for the one this month.
Yes, that's right. It just because it is EUIS does not mean it is only just for EU battlers. They will open it up to some other battlers as well. I believe battlers, we had some good battlers in the Latinum, but it ended up being, who took the Latinum? We had the link.
It was Jacko Loco, I believe.
Jacko Loco took it. Yeah, that's why he's ranked number 2. He's definitely a top 1. Great battler over at Flash for Everyone. So keep your eyes set, because February 8th will be your Ingot Cup. So battlers, this is going to be real big and huge for you today, as we're going to break into the Ingot Cup. So let's look at the Ingot Cup now. I'm going to go through what's allowed and what's banned, and we're going to talk a little more about these allowances and these bans as well, as they'll be super fun. But looking at the typing, we are back to a regular typing meta, the ones we're used to. So you've got steel, dark, electric, fire, and poison that are allowed. And then as for allowed species, you've got Rotom, you've got Wormadam Sand, you've got Archean, Archops, you've got H-Quill, Arctobax, Tyrant, G-Fisk, Toxapex, Tentacruel, so many Pokemon. I can go down the list. There's about 20 others that got into there. But the ban typing, you're like, wait a minute, why would Toxapex and Tentacruel not be allowed species since they're already poison? You're looking at this ban list, you've got Fighting, Ghost, Ground, Rock, Water, and Dragon banned. So things like Toxapex would have been banned, but they're allowed. Things like Nidoqueen, Nidoking would be banned, but they're allowed. Same with Steelix. So those are why those are allowed in the allowed species. Now the banned species, ignore the Gligar. That's actually supposed to be Graphii, because that is now officially banned.
As is Corviknight.
As is Corviknight, yes. You also have Drapion, Vikavolt, Heliops, the Mandibuzz, Morpeko, Grimer, Salazzle, Malamar, Nidorina, Pachirisu, and Bellybot, and no shadows at all or land. So it's only normal typing or purified Pokemon. We're right off the bat, the one thing we talked about, and the first look video I talked about, was that Mudslap was already targeted besides Girafarai. Now Girafarai is out. Mudslap is gone. So, gentlemen, we have this new meta up now. What are your first thoughts here? Brown, let's get with you. Let's get your first thoughts looking at what the Ingot Cup means to you.
So, the first 2 things I see is electric and fire. So, they banned Ground, Rock, water, and dragon. So fire is only resisted by dragon, water, rock, and fire itself. And electric is only resisted by ground. So those are all banned. So those are pretty open typings. And I mean, I think you're going to see fire be very dominant in here. I think it's going to be the fire that beats the fires that can withstand all the fires. So there's a lot of word fire in one sentence.
Finally,
But I think
I'm so tired of everything else. Finally, fire has it. Say as much fire as you want, my man.
yeah,
Brown's going to be out here running a team of 6 fire types. Show us that camera up gaming.
I have a camera built.
I've got camera built too. I got lit Leo built. But yeah, go on, sir.
So yeah, mine's ranked 48, and it's I've played it before, and it's really bad. It's going to be really bad in this meta.
Maybe it just didn't have the right time to shine, you know?
No, it's
Maybe
bad.
you can make
it can't take fast moves. It's bad.
Does it Cameron have incinerate? It's got incinerate, earth power, and
I
overheat.
ran it when it had incinerate. It was still so bad. It is so bad. It's not going to be good.
Okay.
Like there's just better stuff. Like there's just stuff that has bulk. Like it doesn't even need to have any bulk, just enough bulk. Like yeah, fire and electric. That's my thing. But my dark horse is low key dark because it feels like everything's tailored around that, and dark's just like out in left field. It's very neutral to everything, but it looks very safe. A lot of people are going to be targeting fire. A lot of people are going to try and target electric, but then dark's going to be just, I think this true winner of the meta.
Nice. That's good. That's a good one. That's a good thought. World Champion, your thoughts and first look on this meta?
So my first impression is that is a long list of allowed species, and not all of them are ones that I'm really expecting. Like, so I'm here looking at the graphic. I see Wash Rotom, I see Archon, I see Archeops. I see Laron. And I guess I'm just a little bit surprised that things like that are included. So just because something is allowed, I wouldn't necessarily expect it to have a whole lot of play. But looking at the allowed typings, we have steel, we have electric, we have fire, we have poison, we have dark. 4 of those 5 are weak to ground type attacks, which, as we mentioned earlier, all the mud slappers have been banned. So I think finding a way to sneak ground type damage into this format is going to be really good. And then also in a couple of scrims that I've done in the last couple of days, I've noticed that the fires, again, as we mentioned, are going to be really good. Just Incinerate's a good move. It hits everything, especially with, ground, rock, water, dragon bands. So fire is going to be good, and then the ground steels are probably also going to be performing really well. And both of those type combos are weak to water. So I would not be surprised if, Aquatail H-Quill or Toxapex, if you want to call it a water, or Tentacruel. I wouldn't be surprised if things like that end up, becoming relatively common in this meta. But aside from that, it just looks like a really fun combination of allowed typings and allowed species. So it's going to be fascinating to see how the meta evolves over the next couple weeks. But I'm really looking forward to it.
What about Muddy Water on G-Fisk?
Stop it. Get out of here. Who are you? What? Stop it. Stop it.
I respect the idea. The issue is Muddy Water doesn't do damage.
Muddy Water gets debuff?
You get
Muddy Water gets fire. If fire Pokemon are running around, Muddy Water gets fire Pokemon. Muddy Water is super effective against G-Fisk itself.
Let me throw something on PV Poke real quick just to get some numbers for you.
Okay, give us those numbers.
Muddy Water does a cool 17% in the G-Fisk mirror.
Yeah. How much is
What
that?
if you get to debuff?
What's that debuff? What's that debuff?
Yeah, what about when you get to debuff the first time and the other one has the
Right.
earthquake and they shield the debuff move and they get debuffed and you keep muddy watering them?
At that point, it doesn't matter who actually wins the battle. We know who the real loser is.
Those are absolutely. There's some great thoughts there. I love it when you see opportunities like that, because why bring in rock slide if you could bring in muddy water? Earthquake muddy water might be a thing here with the G-Fisk, but we're going to get back into that later as we're going to talk a little more about the meta, because you guys brought up such great points there. Ground typing is something that seems real prominent, and then water to kind of counteract that. But you have this neutral base in the dark typing there, where you get things like Raticates, Alolan style, Umbreons, just these big old, like, tanky thick soaker uppers of all sorts of damage, including fire. Like, yes, nobody wants to see Incinerate, but Umbreon can take some Incinerates and throw some charge moves right back at whatever weak fire Pokemon is there. And there is no real big tank fire Pokemon besides Talonflame, I think. So
I think Kanto Ninetales is going to be the bulkiest fire we have.
Yeah, and that's not even that bulky. Sitting at, what is it? 133 defense and 126 stamina overall. That's going to be real tough there. But the opportunity there with the darks and the fires is going to be great. But steel and electric, I feel you're going to be able to tap into fairy in this meta through those. Maybe get something a little bit out there to kind of work with it, which is going to activate poison a little harder in this meta. In the more RPS circle line that we're all trying to figure out here. So I think that we could talk about fire being dominant and all this stuff, and I don't know how many times we used to see Blaziken at number 1 in a lot of the beginning of the metas, only to have somebody play something else like Crawdilly with Rock Slide instead of Stone Edge, or Lileep with its movesets there, and it jumps to number 1, or Armadillo. So I feel like we have number 1 right now is G-Fisk, and that's kind of a good thought process in of itself. But at the same time, like, we got water people that can throw water users, people that are going to throw ground type moves as well. There's going to be other things out there that are going to fight that steel typing as well on top of that, and not as much as that ground typing. So G-Fisk is kind of in that mix there where it's going to get affected by fires. It's just an all-around RPS. I feel like if we could sit there and just, but this and that and this and that, you're going to have a bit of a hard time here. And I think that with 1 month meta, I think we're going to just see like a core of like 3 Pokemon on people's teams. If that made any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
I think I followed like 75% of that.
Cool. Because like you guys say, like there's some great in fire, there's some great in poison, and some dark there too, that I feel like we're going to find other typings in some of these steel or electric that we weren't thinking about that could possibly pop up for us.
I do think we're gonna see people start running Kanto Raichu.
Maybe
not immediately, but just
Charmchew. Is it going to be Charmchew, Voltswitch Chew, or Thunderbolt Chew?
Probably Thundershock.
I'm thinking T-Shock, yeah. Probably T-Shock, Wild Charge, Brick Break.
Yeah.
Because it's got Brick Break. Brick Break. Now
it does, yeah.
You say Wild Charge. Why not Trailblaze?
Does it get Trailblaze?
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Brick Break, Trailblaze, Skull Bash, Thunder Punch. Remember, all punches just got 5 extra damage, and Wild Charge. It also has Thunder Shock, Volt Switch, Spark, and Charm. So
I think Wild Charge is just a better move on it that you can just play it in the lead, since there's such minimal ground, and you're going to know if your opponent has ground or not, so you can really navigate that Raichu how you need it to.
Yeah, Wild Charge and Dip is a spooky strategy to play against.
And then not just that, you don't even have the wild charge. You can brick bait, brick, break,
Okay.
bait. Oh my gosh, that's
There you
difficult
go.
to say.
You got it
That's a
eventually.
big one. That's
That
a big
was very difficult to say. There, and they could shield that brick break, and you can just laugh at them as you didn't get their second shield with the wild charge. Or you can do this. You could brick break bait them twice to get both their shields.
That's mean. That's really mean. I like the idea. I mean, it's got a wonderful smooth slat, so it could very well pop up as everything on the allowed species kind of doesn't want to see either the brick break or the trailblaze, nor does it anything else want to see the wild charges. It'll take out most of those Pokemon besides the rock ones.
Well, I think also, I don't think Trailblaze will make sense because you have fire, steel, and poison, all which resist the grass moves, and electric and dark, it's just not hitting stab on it. That I think the electric move is just much more valuable there.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't want to debuff yourself, that's why you have that.
I mean, I'm gonna bring
brick
Charmchu
break
into
bait.
one tournament. It's coming to one tournament for sure. They're never gonna see it coming.
But doesn't everything resist charm though?
Yeah, what does it be?
Yeah, what
I guess
you're just
like
going after fairies or
Tyrant, and
darks.
then
I'm not,
I don't even know if it beats Umbreon.
but I'm not getting super effective off of poison because I'm not a poison Pokemon. So
No, but if poison Pokemon will be resisting your charms, fire Pokemon will be resisting your charms, steel Pokemon will be resisting your charms, and a lot of the allowed species already resist charms, so it feels like it's very resisted
fine.
into the entire
Fine.
meta.
There goes my Charmchu. Bye, Charmchu. Guess I didn't want to play with you.
We hate fun here on Pokeball
Yeah.
Network.
No, we love fun at Pokeball Network. That's why I see in the chat we've got a question about Incineroar rocking double kick,
Ooh.
blaze kick, and darkest lariat. Lariat?
Oh.
Lariat?
I saw that as well. I completely agree.
Now there's Firefang, which just got a buff in this Duel of Destinies, and also Snarl as well as a fast move for this Incineroar. But I'm gonna give you my thought on it, and I'm here for it. Go for it. You want to do it? Double kick away, my man. If that's what you want to play. If you've got targets for Dark Lariat, hit them. Hit them all with Dark Lariat. I would prefer Blast Burn over Blaze Kick, 100, because it's just more damage, less energy, all that stuff. But you play your style. If you don't have a Blaze Kick or a Blast Burn Incineroar. But yeah, I'm saying go for it with double kick. I'm here for the double kick.
Yeah, that's something I saw for sure. I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
now that has me wondering, what are other ways you can sneak fighting damage into this meta?
Oh,
Because I know Nidoking gets double kick.
Nidoking has double kick.
The minute I saw
So-
it,
And Santoom.
and
Sosa paid me
and-
to explicitly mention Nidoking. He's its number one fan.
Ooh, baby, you know
It
Nidoking's coming. Santoom,
looks
Earth
good.
Power. Not just Santoom, Earth Power too. So if you don't even want to do a debuff, just hit him with that Earth Power. You got Poison Jab. You can go for Mega Horn if you want to go against those darks. But yeah, like it's got a wild ride of movesets there that I was just like, finally the king's gonna come out. I also see Goon in the chat too. Gentlemen, the Goon with the counter, now that it's debuffed, but has access to cross chop. Do you see that maybe playing?
I've played Obstagoon that's nerfed. It does not feel very good. It's
Okay.
so hard to play.
Okay.
I kind of agree with you there, but less because, the pacing got absolutely demolished when
Yeah.
the counter energy got nerfed. But this is going to sound weird. I don't think Obstagoon's going to have that many targets
It's aim. Yeah.
because I'm expecting Umbreon and the ground steals to be super common, which, it obviously beats. But I think if you don't manage to get Obstagoon on one of the things it's explicitly there to counter, no pun intended, I just don't think it's going to do that well.
Yeah, it's just going to struggle in those neutral matchups. I mean, it's going to do good in
Right.
dominant matchups. That's like that's what that's the definition of a dominant matchup. You're supposed to do good in those, and even then, it's still going to take more damage than I think it wants to be taking there, which I think is kind of unfortunate for it. Yeah, this just it's doing its job. It's just not doing its job well enough in neutral matchups, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're probably going to see it. People are going to run Obstagoon, and there are going to be people who have success with Obstagoon, but I don't think it's going to be a meta staple.
Same.
I agree.
Like, I think it's going to be on the outskirts of, the core meta.
Yeah.
So like somewhere in between meta and spice territory.
Nice.
So.
All right. Well, thank you, gents, for the first look here, or your look into this. Any final thoughts you want to say about the Ingot Cup before we get on to your core Pokemon?
I'm excited for. I just want to figure out what that fire to beast the fires is. I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, I've got it figured out.
Oh, I do. I have one more thing.
I have a couple in mind.
I got a couple in mind too. It's gonna be. So
I do have one more
Go for it.
thing.
Go for it.
They should at least made one exception for shadows and allowed my favorite Fire Steel Legendary in Heatran. That should have been the only shadow allowed. That should have been
when you
allowed.
purify it, is it?
It's too high.
It's
too high. Got to get it from research trades.
Yeah, which is obnoxious.
Because Heatran
like
is ranked number 17 here with Magma Storm and Stone Edge. You can also run Iron Head or Earth Power because it has that as well. But yeah,
it is so hard to trade for that.
It's like a 30% chance from each trade with a lowest friendship person,
like a brand new friendship.
Yeah,
which is just a casual 100k dust.
Yeah.
If anyone who I'm not friends with going to Vancouver regionals, you have a Heatran from research, hit me up. Let me know. I'm looking to do some bartering here. Heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. Let's get this guy a Heatran. He dominated everybody in was it the Chaos Cup you brought it?
Chaos Cup, yep.
Chaos
Still had
Cup.
frustration.
So is Heatran your favorite Fire Steel Legendary?
Is there other Fire Steel Legendaries?
It is my favorite Fire Steel Legendary, and it is also my least favorite Fire Steel Legendary.
All right. That's nice. That's good. Well, that being said, we're going to end that on our look into the Ingot Cup. If you've got other thoughts or processes, go ahead and write in the chat. Be sure to hit that thumb button to let us know that you're loving what we're giving here, as we're giving some great ideas on our first looks. Now we're going to break it into our core picks. And this is what we the battlers think you should be playing with or building around when you start looking into this meta. And we're going to kick it off with Brownballer, as he's going to give us his first two Pokemon in this meta.
Thank you, Sosaflo. So I feel like, as I said earlier, it's going to be all fire-centric. Everyone's going to be focusing on that. But, that's going to open up a back door with the Dark-type Pokemon. So I kind of went double dark here with Umbreon and Hisuian Quillfish. As I kind of mentioned before, Darks would be pretty neutral into all these fires, and you'd have that bulk. Really, what was the one meta like
Ember
forever? Cup? No, like in 2021 maybe or 20, where Umbreon was really good. It was right after Catacomb. So it was Catacomb, original Catacomb. It was original Catacomb. Yeah,
Forest
like
Cup
this
or
stuff.
something like
that.
that.
I ever played.
No, I didn't play them. I played Catacomb.
Okay,
but just the sheer bulk of Umbreon, like most of the stuff, those fires are very attack waves because they're very glassy, which having that bulk is would be really nice. Honestly, something like a Typhlosion, hitting with a Blast Burn is kind of scary. Realistically, I don't think I see much tanking that. I think Umbreon and Waters and Tyrant are about the only Pokemon I saw that are really taking a Blast Burn, especially from a non-shadow.
Sorry to interrupt, but something to keep in mind. Typhlosion is going to be significantly less scary than in other metas because the shadow's not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
It's still scary, but Blast Burn is just such a hard-hitting move that you feel it.
That is true.
So if you get shields down and end up have to eat a Blast Burn, that's probably like one of the worst moves to have to eat. Like if you had to pick anything to eat, that would be like that'd probably be at the very bottom of moves I'd want to eat. I think right behind Focus Blast. So it's on that level of I don't want to eat this. So like Umbreon's bulk is going to be able to help you keep from making a mistake, or if your opponent makes a great play, at least you can use that against them. Having bulk, you might still lose, but at least you give yourself a fighting chance. And then, as we mentioned before, water damage is going to be a premium. I think Hisuian Quillfish with Aqua Tail is going to be pretty dang good. I don't know if Shadow Ball is the right second move. I think Dark Pulse might be the better move in this meta, but I'm really unsure of what I want to run as the second move. I want to say Dark Pulse, honestly, but
Could also run Scald.
ooh,
Can you with Quill? Or sorry,
I think so.
can you? Yeah, wait, I didn't even think about
Am
that.
I,
I didn't even.
am I
I don't-
spreading misinformation?
you're spreading misinformation, my friend. The following moves are Aqua Tail, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and Ice
Sad
Beam.
day. My bad. That's on me. I don't know how to play this game.
It's all good.
Oh, don't say
But
that.
imagine,
It feels so bad.
imagine Scald H-Quill.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be busted.
That would be the
Niantic,
community day. I'm
please.
so about it.
Wait,
Let's
does anything
do it.
have Scald in this meta now? I didn't even think about that.
Tentacruel
Tentacruel
does.
has Skull.
Oh, outside Tentacle.
Let's see.
Slowking Galarian.
Oh.
Slowking and Slowbro Galarian both have Skull too, and they are your poison psychic typing. Not water typing. That's why they are allowed to play.
Slowbro might. Galarian Slowbro might be actually kind of good. I didn't even think of that.
I didn't even think about that too, and it's put all the fires. It put all the fires in check. The things it lose to right off the bat: Stunfisk, Slash A, Togedemaru, your Hisuian Quillfish, and Nidoking. And when I say they lose, I mean nothing is more than a 300 here on PV Pokken, the one shield. Like the G-Fisk is a hard 85. You will not win with Slowbro. So
Well, I mean,
that's gonna be difficult there, but yeah, go
Well,
on.
nobody's gonna be running A slash. There's gonna be too much fire to run A slash. That is too risky to run.
Oh, absolutely.
Hisuian Quillfish is a bad matchup for it. Yeah, Stunfisk. If you lead it and you are able to farm stuff down, you can probably chip it hard enough that as long as you just don't stay in that matchup, like it's not by any means a good matchup, but if you can set yourself up into an advantage, you can give yourself a fighting chance. So I mean.
There's
This
opportunity.
might be way
there.
better than I'm gonna run this in a practice tournament because this looks really good. I didn't even realize it.
So
How good
good.
it
I
is.
think the fact that we're even considering this just goes to show how good water coverage is going to be here.
Yeah.
Ugh, get out of here. Can they just say no water typing, ban water?
They
typing?
did.
No.
And
I
they
mean,
did.
in
They
the
did.
Charge moves and all, just like they did when it was like no fighting type moves, not water typing, but no water type moves. Can we just let fire just have its meta, please? Ugh. It's water.
Yeah,
This
type
guy wants
everywhere.
Sovereign V2.
It has its meta. We just got to figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, no, that's true. And just like if it is gonna end up being like fire and there's not that much ground, you see the Pillow Swine down there as well in the allowed Pokemon. With Hisuian Quillfish, this could really start feeling like Ember Cup did, where it was like Hisuian Quillfish, Typhlosion, a Charizard, Blastburn, Pillow Swine, Stunfisk. So there's some reminiscence that you might be able to play, and that's why I'm aboard the Quillfish. I'm not sold on Slowbro, but those are some
Actually,
great picks there, Brown Baller.
Charizard's eligible in this meta, isn't it?
Yes, because
It is.
flying is not allowed. Charizard's ranked number 33 with the boosted now Fire Spin thanks to this new meta, Blastburn and Dragon Claw, and it barely loses to your boy Stunfisk.
What about Dragon Breath?
Ooh, that's gonna be fire. That'll be interesting.
No, that's going to be Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be Dragon. You're absolutely right. That's gonna be Dragon typing. I would say if Tyrant becomes very much the meta with its Dragon typing, maybe that Dragon Breath will be good there.
Yeah.
I think the most disappointing thing about Dragon Breath Charizard, and this is, not to brag, but speaking as someone who ran it to number 1 on the GBO leaderboards recently, the issue with Dragon Breath Charizard is that it isn't a steel counter in any context, which is
hurtful.
like, it makes sense if you think about it, because your only fire damage is going to be blast burn, which you get to in 17 turns. But a fire type consistently losing to steals just feels so bad.
Yeah. You don't
And especially with all the G-Fisk we're going to be seeing, and I'm expecting Steelix as well. That's not a matchup that you're going to want to give up. Again,
Right, but
kudos to people if they can run it with success. I don't think I will be trying to do that.
I guess if you have enough safety with it, so say you have a K9 and just say on PvP Poke out number 2, you have Magmora running that double fire line. I mean, you're going to be able to, maybe sack a little bit of that, fire damage just for having it on your just comp you have, where it doesn't have to be necessarily that way. Because I mean, the G-Fish is gonna be good, but I feel like it's gonna get it. I played it in Little Cup, and it does not feel near as good as it used to. I know Rhyblet is also a fellow Little Cup specialist.
Absolutely, Little Cup enjoyers,
and I am pushing hard for Little Cup in factions. How do we hate Little Cup?
Okay, if Battle Frontier adds a Little Cup specialist slot, I will never touch the domains again.
Can you help me?
I will live in the Little Cup specialist position. I'm never going to leave.
Could you help me push this propaganda for getting them to actually put it in there?
Absolutely.
You heard it here, folks.
Brothers
We
in
are
crime.
going to get the Little Cup put into Battle Frontier. We're going to send out petitions. Be sure to sign them, because apparently Pokemon that can't take a charge move sounds super fun to play with.
I made a petition already.
You did send it my way. I'll sign it.
Fantastic. Well, Brown, these are some great picks here for the Ingot Cup. Absolutely love your thought process. It's so good. And so now we're going to get and move on to the next set, and that's going to be my 2 set. And I'm going to pick the fire Pokemon of the Ninetales, but I'm going to put Scorching Sands on it, and I'm going to bring my boy Nidoking, because I saw Double Kick, and I was like, yo, let's go! And I'm
Name a more iconic pairing than Sosa and Nidoking.
Hey.
Sosa and Furret.
You got me there. Sosa, Furret, Nidoking.
Sosa, Furret, Nidoking. Those 2 are my boys. God, if I could run them in OGL, I will. I'll figure out the lineup for that. But
nothing's stopping you.
Nothing is, besides, Psywave and all those mud boys, and the mud is everywhere with the mud.
Don't forget the mud.
Don't forget the mud. That's right. And the ground and the mud and the slapping of the muds. But since Mud Slap is down and out, I'm bringing in the King with those dark and the steel typing as one of its as one of the major typings in here. There's no water. The King feels so great to, come out and play with the Double Kick. Gonna put that fast move pressure down, which I love. Also has the access to a ground move. You can go Sand Tomb. It's gonna put some extra damage down. If you watch the matchups between J-Mac Warrior and I in my first look, you'll see how much good damage those sand attacks or Sand Tombs really do. So really excited with that. With the Mega Horn, you could go Earth Power, you can go Sludge Bomb. There's other opportunities there for you. If you have it, which I do, the Fury Cutter Nidoking as well could be super fire to play with, because Fury Cutter generates that energy so quickly, but you won't have that fast move damage that I truly love so well, because you can't shield a fast move. Then you've got my boy Ninetales. Yeah, both these guys gave away the game plan immediately with the Ninetales, because Ninetales is probably one of the only Pokemon, fire Pokemon that we have that has a ground move. So with Scorching Sands being there, there's Rapidash with Drill Run, but it's Incinerate, so you're still stuck on that 5-turn move. So I really like the Fire Spin being a 3-turn move and getting to that Scorching Sands a lot quicker with the Weather Ball Fire, because I'm here for the fire, and when fire can shine, let it shine. You bench the water Pokemon, you bench the ground Pokemon. There's barely any rock anywhere. Let's bring in the fire now. So those are my 2. I feel like they're just going to be really good on your team. I feel like there's going to be like 2 or 3 Pokemon that you're going to want to use. I feel like Ninetales is going to be one of them on a lot of people's teams. I feel like Ninetales is going to be the fire choice for everybody.
Yeah.
Ninetales being the fire choice for everyone is I think that's a pretty bold claim to make. But we'll definitely see how it, ends up going.
I'm no world champion, but I'm just throwing my analyst sense out there right now.
No, I think it's a good prediction that Ninetales is going to be, a staple. I just don't know if it's going to be like the staple.
So in PV Poke right now, it doesn't have Scorching Sands on it. It says Weather Ball Overheat ranks at number 3, but I feel like you put Scorching Sands, you don't need the Weather Ball to debuff yourself, the Overheat to debuff yourself. So I feel like you will be just fine there. But I see another fire up there that also has Scorching Sands. So there's other fires that have ground, but I feel like Ninetales is going to be the more prominent fire Pokemon of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Definitely one of the more forgiving ones, just because it is on the bulkier side.
Yeah, with 133 defense, that's kind of huge. It's a real big stat. I think the average on defense is what, like 110, 115. So.
Well, I mean, you also have Arcanine with Bulldoze and Scorching Sands.
Oh, look at that! Fire Fang Arcanine. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm here for Ninetales though. I feel like Ninetales gonna be able to handle herself.
But yeah,
I respect it.
Yeah, these picks though definitely make me feel that Sosa's played a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon for some reason. just point that out there.
In his defense, for its Gen 2.
So
yeah, at least you have the for Gen 2. But
He's branching out a little bit,
I can tell.
We'll teach him about Gen 3 next month.
Oh, finally, Sosa learns about Gen 3.
Is that Shino? No, that's Hoenn. No, wait.
Yeah, Hoenn.
That's Hoenn, right?
Yeah.
Hey, he has heard about it.
Yeah, you have heard about it. He just doesn't play it.
You know what? To be honest, that came out when I was in college, and I stopped playing Pokemon at that time. So I was like, all right, we're good.
Wow, imagine not playing Pokemon in college.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Imagine a world where Pokemon was not as accepted as it is today. That's the world I lived in. And we broke down those walls so that way it can be more accepted by more people, which is so much better.
Yeah, Pokemon Go was huge when I was graduating college.
Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Oh, Pokemon Go didn't even exist. Wasn't even a thought. Token? What was it? Token Pokemon, right? The tournament one that they did for PS4 or whatever.
Oh, Tekken.
Or
Pokken.
Pokken, whatever. Pokken.
Like the Street Fighter-esque
The Street Fighter-esque one, right? That wasn't even around when I was in college.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah. Oh, who doesn't know do you know about Pokemon Pinball then? And for the Game
I
Boy?
do. I played that. Which one? The original or the remake?
For the Game Boy. The original.
I have both.
For the original Game Boy Color that first came out.
Yes.
Back when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, that was like my first Pokemon game when I was in, I think, like 2nd grade.
Damn.
If not earlier.
That must be nice.
What a way to start it out.
What a way to start out your life. Those are my picks, gents. That's what I'm feeling in this meta. I feel like it's going to be out there. I feel like Ninetales is going to be one of the top 3 fires, or the top 3 Pokemon that will be on mostly everybody's team. And I feel like Nidoking is such a core breaker that if you want to play with it, you should absolutely give it a try.
Yeah, those are pretty good picks there, Sosa.
All right, well, let's get on to the World Champion. Get out your notebooks, folks. We're going to school.
All right, I got my notebook. Is it okay to write in dry erase marker and on my paper?
Sure.
One way to find out.
All right, champ.
All right, so my 2 picks for this month are going to be Magmar and Tyrant. Usually when a meta is first announced and I'm, just looking at it for the first time, one of the things that I try to do is pinpoint what the more flexible picks are going to be, or what what things you can give a little bit of energy to or a shield advantage to, and they'll just run away with the entire game. I basically try to look for the Feraligators of the meta.
Okay.
And one that immediately jumped out to me was Magmar, because, just quick disclaimer, I've never used Magmar before. I haven't built a Magmar. I'm going to be changing that, because Karate Chop, just based on its stats, is not only one of the best moves in the game in terms of 2.5 damage per turn, 4.5 energy per turn, but it's also one of the few ways that you're actually going to get fighting type damage in this meta, other than, I guess, double kick would be the other big one, or counter on Obstagoon.
What Rock Smash Camerupt? Or low kick Rapidash.
Low kick Rapidash. Come on, guy. We're really finding that fighter out here, folks.
If you can run those to success, more power to you.
I'll do it.
I believe you. I believe you. I absolutely believe you. But Karate Chop, it looks extremely promising. And as we mentioned with the K9, the Kanto Ninetales, Scorching Sands is hard to come by. Ground damage is going to be good. It has coverage against basically everything. And I just feel like if you can get Magmar, 2, 3, 4 Karate Chops worth of energy, between the fighting fast move damage and the fire and ground coverage, I just think there isn't going to be a whole lot that can, actually stop it from tearing through like a Pokemon and a half. So I think, as we alluded to earlier, I think that Magmar is going to be one of those fires that beats the other fires. I think the only one that it can't really hold a candle to is going to be Talonflame, just because it resists everything. Fly hurts, Magmar's squishy, but as long as it stays off Talon, I think Magmar is going to have really good play into basically everything. And even against things like Toxapex and Tentacruel, you still have Scorching Sands. I don't imagine that Tentacruel can eat 2 of those. So that was my line of thinking for the Magmar pick. And as I mentioned, don't have one built. Take all of this with a grain of salt. This is just, looking at it on paper. But I'm definitely going to be shaking down my locals to, see if they have spare Magmars they'd be willing to send my way for better rerolls.
You didn't get your Magmar in Classic Community Day or regular Community Day way back when? Come on, man. Are you really a Go Battler?
I have this really bad habit of looking at Mons that are bad, and then I think, oh, I'm never going to use this. And then I transfer them.
Never. Always save. If it's a good ranking Pokemon, always save it. You never know when one moveset's going to flip it and bring it to the top. For instance, Noctowl was always trash until they updated Wing Attack. What was another one that no one? Pidgeot was great. Oh, God.
I didn't have my first Shadow K-Whack until a week ago.
Yeah, Shadow K-Whack has been phenomenal.
I was hurting without it.
I still don't have a Shadow K-Whack.
Oh,
I haven't caught one.
What were you doing during the Rocket event we just had?
Yeah, buddy. What are you doing?
You're not out
waiting for December. Waiting for the December Rocket event.
No. Yeah, well, you missed out on getting your Heatran to not have frustration anymore.
I didn't even get Shadow.
I absolutely did.
I didn't even get Shadow Heatran. I missed out on it.
Oh, buddy.
It was a lot of fun and chaos.
I've definitely got one for sure. It's super fun. You got to get on it. Get in on it immediately. Make sure you get your Palkia. Get your Palkias. Get those Palkias. Those 1500 under Shadow Palkias. I thought we were going to be able to run it in the play Pokemon scene because it destroys. It's so good.
The moral of the story is hoard everything,
Hoard
transfer
everything.
nothing,
Yeah.
trade me Magmar.
Exactly. You understand now. Hoard everything. And at least 2 or 3, right? Because you want one that's going to be good with a higher attack. You want one that's going to be a top 100. And you want another one that you can already evolve. So that way when the community day comes, you have the other 2 saved up. Also, you need one for Ultra League and one for Master League. So, yeah.
I love Master League Magmar so much.
Master League Magmar is number 1.
Alright.
Beats that Virizion so hard.
All right, don't run Master League Magmar. Please don't. Please don't. Like, please win games. Like, don't grief yourself.
Yeah, so I talked a bit about, why Magmar is my first pick.
Mm-hmm.
My second pick is Tyrant. The only exceptions for the 2 dragon types that are allowed are going to be Arctibax and Tyrants. And I just think that as long as Tyrant avoids Steel types, I feel like it can Dragon Tail either all the way through everything or come close to being able to 2-shield Dragon Tail all the way through everything.
Yeah.
And it's just consistent neutral damage as long as it stays off of the steals. Because the only thing that resists Dragon is Steel and then Fairy. And there are exactly 4 fairies in this meta. Galarian Weezing, Dedenne, Klefki, Mawile. So you are not going to have to worry about those. And then, of course, you have a spammy charge move with Dragon Claw. If you get the Ancient Power boost, then you're fine. So I think that Tyrant is going to be a really good generalist if it can avoid G-Fisk and Steelix and the other steals. And it's also one of the few things that really shuts down fire types.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bit of an exception with Magmar because it gets Karate Chop, it gets Scorching Sands. But again, haven't played this out. This is just on paper. I still imagine that Dragon Tail does enough that, you can just 2-shield through it. So Tyrant was my second sort of more general has play into everything pick.
Nice.
So those are some of my first thoughts for fun choices for this meta.
Well, I mean, Magmar beats Tyrant, so you're already off to a great start there. If you pair them together, you're basically covering all of your meta that you want. That's a good core there. That Dragon Tail is just chunking away Magmar's health at 13 damage a tail.
What percent is that?
That is 11.6% of the 112 health that Magmar has.
Yeah, so it dies to 9 Dragon Tails.
Yeah.
That's definitely 2-shield Dragon Tail through territory.
What if you get the boost from Ancient Poggers?
Ooh, it's over at that point.
I feel like at that point, the defense boost would be more beneficial than the attack boost. Because if they land a Sands, they win.
Okay.
And you'd just be taking less damage from the Karate Chop. But yeah, if you get the Ancient Power boost, you're gonna be fine.
Nice. No, those are some really interesting picks. I mean, like you said, when you look at these, you start right off the bat, you notice there are only 2 dragons allowed. And they're pretty good dragons, too. As we just seen Arctibax do a great job through the Pillar Cup. You get Tyrant to come back, and it's got that chunky Dragon Tail. Like you said, you want to avoid the steals, but if fire is just going to be everywhere, steel is pretty much sitting in the back corner, banking and hoping on somebody to take out the fire first. So a team's going to have to really build around to protect the steel, and you can't really do that to protect Tyrant either. So I feel like you've got great opportunity to not get it paired with the steel, because I don't see anybody running more than 1 steel typing in this meta. Do you?
Yeah.
Is there 2, unless it's like Heatmore, or not Heatmore, Heatran and something else. I don't really see 2 steel typings coming out.
The 4th highest ranking steel is a low in Sandslash, and with Magmar being as high as it is, and fire just being as scary as it is, nobody in their right mind is bringing a low in Sandslash. The only low-key sleeper steel I see is probably. It might honestly be the Melmetal, just with the ability to hit Rockslide and superpowers. But that's just not even gonna be good to run. Like I think there's just better stuff. But Escav is getting a water move February with
Oh, with Razor
Razor
Shell.
Shell. So I mean, it's not going to be good because fires are going to be really scary. But it doesn't take super effective fast move damage from the Magmar. I don't think it's a good matchup for Escav, but at least finding any way to get water damage. I mean, if anybody's crazy enough to run a Scavalier in Great League, I'll be running mine with Razor Shell Acid Spray.
We are also talking with someone who played multiple games against me back in Chaos Cup, running Razor Shell Golisopod.
Who would ever do
Who
that?
did that?
I don't know.
Who did that?
Is Golisopod available here?
It is not. I looked.
How is it
It's
not
one of the
available?
three of us. It's not me.
Oh,
It's
guess
not
what?
brownballer.
Oh, that's right. It was me. And you know what? It got me a few good wins, too, because you got it a lot quicker than Scold, and no one saw it coming. Loved it.
Rest in peace, Heatran. Heatran did not want to eat the Razor Shell.
You know who else learns Razor Shell? Cloyster with Ice Shard, Icy Wind,
does?
Razor Shell.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got Razor Shell, Hydro Pump, Liquidation, Avalanche, Icy Wind, Aurora Beam, Blizzard, and fast moves Frost Breath and Ice Shard. It's incredible.
If I lose to someone running Cloyster because I shield a Razor Shell and it gets the drop, I'm uninstalling the game.
Well, that's the way to beat the champion this season, folks. Just have them uninstall the game in a practice match.
Does Razor Shell Cloyster break that Magmar Tyrant Core?
There's no way Magmar loses to it.
I bet it
Let's
does.
find out.
There's only one Pokemon that has Razor Shell, so it's only Cloyster, so you'll be okay.
For now.
For now, absolutely. But we're pulling.
Oh, Magmar just wins everything except the O2s.
Really? Even with the Razor Shell?
Oh, that's Razor Shell and Icy Wind. I wonder what Razor Shell Liquidation would do.
Let's see, Razor Shell only.
It loses the zeros. Oh, but that's probably just going straight Liquidation.
It is definitely not something you want on your Cloyster. I don't think Cloyster's there for Magmar. I'm just going to put that out there. Ooh, all right. I was going to get into that, Aaron, because we did bring up Golisopod. We did bring up a water bug type Pokemon, but I want to know your guys' thoughts on the Araquanoid. Because we have talked about tanks. We are talking about water being a huge thing. Araquanoid having the new Water Pulse, Bug Buzz, Bubble Beam, and Mirror Coat. Infestation and Bug Bite are the fast moves. Are you feeling like this might be Araquanid's meta?
Nope. There's too much stuff that counters it. You have Steels that resist the Bug Bite. You have Fires that resist Bug Bite. You have Poisons that resist Bug Bite. You have Electrics, which hit you back with their electric moves. I mean, you're only hitting Darks.
Okay.
So, like, you're going for the one. That's why I said Dark is going to be this outlier, that's playing nice, because anything that kind of counters it, it's just very that core meta, this Fire, Steel, Poison, is just really kicking all of Dark's counters to the side.
Yeah. True.
I honestly disagree that Araquanid isn't going to be good. I think between its bulk, the weird damage mechanics you get with one-turn moves, and the ability to debuff with Bubble Beam and then, do actual substantial water damage with Water Pulse, I think it's going to be a really annoying core breaker that you're going to need to account for. I'm pretty sure this might be IV dependent, but I think it consistently beats G-Fisk, which is stupid.
So the 5 Pokemon that have key wins from this meta from this Pokemon are Umbreon, Nidoking, Tyrunt, Stunfisk, Galarian, and Magmar.
Is that
It breaks
assuming
all of our Pokemon that we just put up there.
Do you have the bait landing of Bubble Beam?
I just have it as the PV poke. Whatchamacallit?
Yeah,
I think-
Araquanid's always going to be a simulation hero because
Yeah.
it's assuming you shield a Bubble Beam and then land a Water Pulse or a Bug Buzz or whatever the big move you're running is.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure, and you may want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure Araquanid beats G-Fisk all evens, just straight Bubble Beam.
I think it does.
Maybe not the zeros, but the ones and twos for sure, because
It beats it with Water
G-Fisk's
Pulse.
moves got nerfed.
Yeah, it beats it with Water Pulse.
Yeah.
Magmar. So it beats Magmar, Umbreon, G-Fisk, Quillfish. This is with Water Pulse. And where is it? It loses to. It's a soft loss to Tyrunt, but it beats Ninetales. Again, this is with Water Pulse, so this is not bait dependent. This is one shield with Bug Bite against it. And I just got to see because Nidoking apparently is not good enough to be in the meta or in the popular one, but it beats Nidoking at that point too. So Araquanid does seem like it could be a sim hero for sure. And it has targets to go about it, to play in. So you can play, you don't have to play Bubble Beam anymore. You can play Water Pulse with it in this meta. And I think that might be a huge factor for a lot of people here.
I think the largest downside to Araquanid is going to be that it's moderately matchup dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if it gets stuck on a Toxapex or a Tentacruel, it's not going to go well for the Araquanid just because everything's resisted, and it's just not going to be good for the Araquanid. But I do think that with its bulk and with its Bubble Beam access, if you run it, you're not going to bring it every single game, but you're going to have opponents who you can just run Araquanid as a safe swap completely for free, and they won't be able to do anything about it. So I think it's going to be one of those picks where it doesn't show up every game, but when it does,
It's gonna be
watch out.
Yeah. It could be very
It's also
well,
one of the few... Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, it could be very well the Pokemon that you, the battler, decide you want to play with. This could be the one that you build around with the other top like 5 Pokemon to help you out there.
I do think it's also going to be one of the only things that like actually is a hard-ish counter to Umbreon, because Bug Bite's super effective. You can, Bubble Beam it into oblivion. Foul Play's not going to do anything substantial. And there aren't really a whole lot of things in this meta that really, have decisive wins over Umbreon. So I think that's going to be a good part of its merit here too.
So if that's the case, what if you played G-Fisk, Umbreon, Araquanid every game and just win on the good old strategy of timeout?
I did 3 practice games against our good friend Aaron, who is currently in the chat last night.
Nice.
That is exactly what he did. We saw the timer all 3 games, and I think he 2-1'd me, but all 3 games were super close.
Way to go, Aaron.
He's good at the game. But yeah, I could definitely see this becoming a timeout strat meta with, G-Fisk, Umbreon, Toxapex, Araquanid.
Oh, man.
God, this is already sounding horrible. Thank God they banned Bellybot and Patchy. Ugh.
I am taking notes and I am preparing.
Preparing to time everybody out. You are awful. You are awful, Brown.
James, those are out of practice.
Sure. We'll
Hey, don't look at me. I'm going to be running Magmar.
Yeah, but your other 5 Pokemon will be Tentacruel, Toxapex, Araquanid.
You weren't supposed to say that. That was between the two of us.
I'm so sorry.
No, not like this. I'm about to go 0-15 this month.
All because you got sold out here on Poke Battle Network. I'll never do any Spotlight metas ever again.
Don't worry, I'll send you the invoice for this later.
But yeah, those are some great core picks you guys have chosen for everybody. Incredible thoughts that you have on all of those Pokemon that you thought about. Because yeah, we talked about it. We mentioned that there's going to be tank Pokemon out there. You both brought out some tanks, some good heavy hitting tanks. We've got some good fast move on fighting or ground move where we need to find it in there. So it's a great thought process there for both of you. Thank you guys for sharing these core Pokemon picks with this meta. As we're wrapping up here for the night, we're getting our final thoughts in on the Ingot Cup. Brown Baller, what is your final thought here of this meta?
My final thought is the Sosa's paying the invoice and not me. But it looks like a fun meta. I mean, I'm really excited to get this practice tournament up and ready. I'd like to do 2 practice tournaments. That'd be ideal. I'm going to probably talk. Well, yeah, I'm going to probably message Zion. I don't know if we're doing one this weekend with Kaz or not, or if not, I'm doing one regardless this weekend, or at least going to set one up. Just because I really like setting up these practice tournaments. They really help out the battlers. They're low pressure. You can have fun. You can try stuff. You don't have to play, the timeout strats in this meta. You can find out, what beats the time. But you can. You can. But yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff. I mean, the only thing I'd definitely say is the one thing I see in here that the best advice I was ever given for Pokemon Go. Whenever you see Archeops in a meta, don't run it. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Pulling up. I literally have Archeops pulled up right now.
It's bad.
Why is it up here? Dragon
it's bad.
And Dragon Breath and Steel Wing Attack, Quick Attack. No.
So one of my good friends was trying to make Archeops work in Great League, and the best way to make it work was
sitting it
to use no to never shield it and using it as a third shield. That's where Archeops works best. So there are literally anything better than Archeops. Do not run that thing. It unless you want to lose, run Archeops. If you don't want to lose, there's what is it? 100 other Pokemon.
There's at least
please
100,
run those.
100.
I'm asking you nicely. Please do not run Archeops for your own sake. I've seen it. It's bad.
Actually, back in the Sylph days before Sylph shut down, for the last week of factions that we ever had, all 4 of the field specialists on my team Wing Attack, all 4 of us ran Wing Attack Archon as like a little send off to Sylph, a little thank you for the memories. Here comes Wing Attack. There goes Wing Attack. And I agree, Archon was not good, but it was a lot of fun. So
nice.
For all of you fun enjoyers out there, maybe not Archeops, but
yeah, maybe not Archeops.
Mr. Rhyblet, your final thoughts here of the Ingot meta.
My final thoughts are that if you want to run Archeops, then I think you should. I'm really excited to see, how this meta plays out. I enjoy the metas where you can use a lot of, some more niche picks or spicier things. And so I'm really liking the look of, some of the things that have been whitelisted, and I'm excited to be playing something other than Pillar. So I think it's going to be a fun month.
Excellent. A lot of people are excited to be out of the Pillar. I think 2 months is a good one. I think Pillar was good to be for 2 months. I think it would have been, a lot better if you had more local, quick, do 1 day tournament and move on. It did drag on for 4 weeks. The same metas kind of gets a little redundant, but it is going to be great to see this new meta, the Ingot Cup, coming through and providing some new styles of play, because we haven't really seen much of Steel of late. We haven't really seen much of Electric or Fire of late. So I'm excited that we get to see these Pokemon flying through and playing it out. These are
Yeah,
going to be.
I am excited to see all the fires. That's
Wait, would
my
you
main
say?
takeaway. Single
Would you
sentence takeaway.
Yeah.
Fires can be fun.
Fires.
I'm
would
excited
you
for it.
would you say this meta is going to be fire?
I mean, I can see it burning down the house. Maybe
I'm sending both of you
put
invoices.
your hands up in the air like you just don't care, because that roof is on fire. I mean, it has the potential to put that roof of it's on fire. Like, we could really put that ceiling on fire and go above where the ceiling ground is for most of these metas. I feel like it could be a bit of a fire, a little bit of a fire island for everybody there. But yeah, I could see it playing really well. It's wonderful to play with these metas, especially when you finally get typings that aren't going to be hard banned by some, or hard walled by some other typings here. The only one that might be hard walled is the steel on fire, but there are still great steel Pokemon out there, as well as great electric and dark Pokemon that can take out that fire. So fire will not be running wild. As for the end of the Ingot Cup wrap up, this is going to be your month of February. Again, hopefully this is going to be a helpful guide for you. If you want to partake in the EUIS, go ahead and get ready. Get the Pokemon that you feel are going to be great and best suited for you and your team of 6 with whatever playstyle out there. We gave you our 6, but out there, y'all have some great choices too. The Incineroar, we've got a Goon suggestion. The Magmar was thrown out before Rhyblet got to it. So clearly, y'all are on top of it as well as us. So be on the lookout for more exciting stuff to come through here, as we're going to see and play out more tournaments and get more playstyle in on the Ingot Cup, so we can all really see, and not just kind of what the Sims kind of look like, but really see how some of these Pokemon play out. Because to me, I think Araquanid looks great, but you never know what Pokemon battlers are going to bring. Steelix has that new Thunder Fang that's going to slap everything across the face. So be on the lookout for that as well. There's a lot of other things out here that we didn't even get a chance to talk about. So there's so many great Pokemon and so many great opportunities. I think this is going to be great for the month of February and to move forward as we're halfway through Season 2 here in Devon.
Yeah, and one more thing though. So I think one thing we didn't really mention though, the logo below us, that's the Ingot logo, correct?
That is the Ingot logo, yes.
I definitely think we definitely need to give the appreciation to Devon for putting together. This is one of their better logos, in my opinion. I think we really need to give a huge shout out to their graphic artists. They're definitely hard work. Hopefully, they get to see this appreciation and all their hard work, coming to light.
Yeah, no, this is a beautiful, beautiful badge that we get to see. I wish I could make it into an enamel pin so that the winner can get that as their badge collection, which will be
You probably could.
Super fun.
Could probably find a way to make it happen.
Find a way to make it happen. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out later down the line for Sosaflo, if he can find that way to make that happen. Hopefully I will for my locals, because we have some good locals that are coming through now, coming into our in-person tournament. So excited to provide a new meta for them. And yeah, hopefully you two find some good locals or good regions. I know, Rhyblet, you're jumped, I believe, on every single mega community, right? You're on BTW, SBL, Pallet Town, BTW, and Merciless. Is that the 4 that you do?
I don't do BTW, but it's usually Pallet Town, Sylph Battle League, Thunderdome on occasion, and then I lurk in the Merciless server as well. I usually just do whatever tournaments will get me to exactly 15 rounds a month.
Oh, nice.
That's usually my metric for, how I decide which ones to do.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm around.
Great. Well, that's awesome that you did it as the world champ. You got to get those reps in, and you're still holding down at #1 on the leaderboard. So if you're trying to get at Rhyblet and challenge yourself to see what it's going to be like at the end of the season in the World Finals, you're going to want to start joining these communities and get your chance to take a crack at him now, because if you don't, he's going to outplay you, out-manipulate you, or energy you, as he's shown in the video prior came out earlier today for the Pillar Cup. So go ahead and watch that and see how the world champion puts on that great smile as he's beating your last Pokemon, sending it straight to Nurse Joy.
And I will also say, open invitation to everyone watching and listening. I'm always looking for scrims. If you want to do some Ingot Cup scrims, hit me up. Let me know. I will be more than happy to oblige.
Nice. Brown, buddy, is this going to be your tournament? You're going to get some ranked in? You said you want to get some.
I would like to. I would like to get at least one ranked in.
Okay.
I'd really like to get 2 practice in, especially. I'll have to talk. Try to set something up for at least either a ranked or a practice for EUIS.
Mm-hmm.
So give battlers an opportunity for that matchup. Whether we want to rank that or not, that's something I think we need to talk. I'd like to, but it just maybe we'll see what's best for the people. That's the biggest thing is providing opportunities for the people. That's the biggest thing in my portion. I don't do leaderboards too much because I like helping out people as much as I can.
Nice. And we appreciate all the help out that you do because it's wonderful. And I think we should get a tournament going on this weekend or this week before EUIS, because that's coming out February 8th, folks. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, brownballer and Rhyblet, for taking your day out on this lovely Thursday to give us a breakdown and your thoughts on the Ingot Cup. Hopefully you're out there and this is helping you through your journey of Season 2 of Devon and getting you through that halfway mark. We'd love to hear more in the chat about what you are ranked at here on the leaderboards, if you're on there, or where you guys do your locals, so that way we can help promote and get that local booming for you so you can have a chance to get your 15 rounds in for the month of February. This meta is going to be really interesting. It seems like it's going to be fire, but it's also going to be a little tanky too. So have some fun with it for sure and get your ranked tournaments done by the end of the month. There will be some Flash for Everyone tournaments that happen through the practice. Be sure to check that out, as Flash for Everybody always has those proposed Flash tournaments. If you want to get a practice run in, you should be able to in a matter of 30 minutes there. They have amazing TOs, and it's in a wonderful organization out there to keep the flow going and get us battlers other tournaments besides OGL or Little Cup. So that being said,
I like Little Cup.
One stab at Little Cup.
Get out of here. End the stream.
No way, Little Cup goes straight to the end zone there, folks.
Do you know how many level 50 Pokemon I have for Little Cup?
I don't care.
I have a Hundo Shadow Shuckle. Hundo Shadow Shuckle.
I have a 98 Shadow Shuckle. I have a XL Meryl. I have 2 Galarian Zigzagoons. I have 2 Bronzors.
Do you have
Smeargle?
Smeargle?
I don't. That's the one I don't have. I just don't have the candy for it.
Oh my goodness.
We can fix that.
I have the Hundo Sunkern. I have XL Why Not. I have the IVs for XL Why Not too.
All right. We get it. You got a lot of Little Cup Pokemon. That's wonderful, sir. But we're here for Devon Corps. That's what we're here for. The GL 1500 CP and under. So hopefully this helped you out in your month of February. That's going to wrap it up. We are on YouTube, so we're not going to rate anybody, but thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button to like this video and like this live stream, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with more of the Ingot Cup, as we are always going to be providing more personal battles and more tournaments so that you can watch and get some ideas on what battlers are bringing to these tournaments. Thank you all for watching the Poke Battle Network. I'm Sosaflo, and like always, keep on battling.